Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Sheets with Bobby Fi, and I'm going to be here from like 6:30 to 8.
Wow.
So I'm going to do. We have a half hour before the NBA, so we're going to do that one first,
Yeah.
and then Bobby, I don't know what I was actually going to do hockey next,
Yeah, do
um,
your thing. Do your thing.
and
I'll
then
just
and then and then 7:30 do the football. I just wanted to make sure that I've been just doing these things too early, and I don't want to do the football stuff before the late actives come out. I don't want to do the NBA until as
Yeah.
late as I can, whatever. So let me just kind of share my screen and just give everybody kind of a taste of like what kind of like we go through here as far as getting stuff done. So we are waiting for I think some news. So Dylan Brooks is
Yeah.
was a game time decision, I think.
Still is, yeah.
Still a
And
game time decision.
Herb Jones for New Orleans is questionable as well. Not that one, maybe not as much we have to do something with, but there's some plays that would look a little bit better on a small slate.
I mean, I have a dumb question. Is he like actually a really good player or not, Dylan Brooks?
I mean, he's been just tearing it up. He's been like a totally different guy than we've ever seen. He scores now like crazy. He's consistently there. He's fine. I mean, as a play, he's fine. But if he's out, then we want to play the Phoenix guys for sure.
Who do you think we'd want to play?
Everybody. He's their highest usage guy. Like,
yeah,
which is really weird to say out loud about Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks deserves a little bit of credit, by the way. Everywhere he goes, everybody gets better. And it's happened. It happened in Houston. It happened when he got to Memphis. And everywhere he leaves, they usually feel the fall, although Houston's still really good. But Phoenix has no business being as competitive as they've been, and he's been awesome. But Gillespie would be like almost a lock. I think Royce O'Neal would make a lot of sense. I think Grayson Allen would be not necessarily a lock, but like up there. Mark Williams would improve probably as well. And Jordan Goodwin would probably be the value guy. That would be the way I see it.
And we're also waiting, I think, on Luke Cornett, maybe.
He's in. He just got announced.
Okay.
Just as we got on. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're waiting on. Yeah, the other one is what's it called? Just the Herb Jones thing that I see.
And then the Pacers lineup, I think we're waiting on. There's something.
Yeah. Always, bad teams. You never know who might shake up lineups, but I actually am going to play tonight. Look, if I win tonight, Cheats, I'm crediting you because I wasn't going to play, and I'm not going to fault you if I lose. But I was ready to take a day off of sports. I was so frustrated about yesterday. It just was like I just felt very tilted. Anyway, so I was.
Well, fortunately for me, I didn't have that issue because all my teams were dead, so I didn't have anything that was sweating. And then Geno Smith got injured. Taken out of the game. Not that he was tearing it up either, but
no.
It would be nice to get to finish the game. That would be nice. One thing I will note to everybody is that like nobody projects well like on this whole slate.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
I haven't seen anything like this. You have it's only 3-game slate, I guess, but Anthony Edwards I have as the top projected player at 44 points.
Yeah, and the top projected value it's like 5.2.
Yeah, and the top projected value I have, 5.2, and that it's DiVincenzo. So
yeah,
I'm sort of inclined to just let SaberSim fly here a little bit. Now, what do you think of this ownership projection? I have so far Colin Gillespie is the highest owned guy.
Yeah, if Dylan Brooks is out, it's going to be really hard to not do that. If Dylan Brooks is in, I still like Gillespie. I'm a little worried about that game. That's one thing to be a little bit concerned about is I guess that could get out of hand. But Minnesota hasn't exactly put the throttle to people like some of the other teams do.
Yeah, I see what you just told me. Luka, whatever. And then Ethan Thompson is starting.
Ethan Thompson is starting.
Where?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
For Indiana. That's what I was waiting for, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I expect to see a projection change.
Yeah, I think you're going to.
On Ethan Thompson there, and an ownership change.
Because I think that the thinking would have been Garrison Matthews, and now it's going to be totally different. And by the way, Ethan Thompson put up 25 in the last game. He played 34 minutes.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think in a slate that doesn't have too much value right now, I think he's going to end up being the dude. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
And what time is the Dylan Brooks game? That's
7:30.
okay. So we have to play 7 o'clock before that. Let's take a look at the slate first of all from a spacing perspective. There's the 7, then there's the 7:30, and then there's an 8. Okay, so we are going to have to commit to this.
Yeah.
To this Indiana thing before we hear about the Dylan Brooks thing. Maybe.
What I did is I just made sure to I uploaded. I wanted at least the minimum exposure of Jordan Goodwin, Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, obviously Colin Gillespie, but you're going to get him anyway. Because if he's out, and then depending on who starts, I think you want to have some room. And again, you're not going to use all your guys in the first game, but I do kind of like the first game, probably the best.
So what I like to do, everybody, is I start with my own my projections here, and then even though I know that the Pacers stuff is going to get updated, remember it's 6:36. We don't have too much time, Yeah. So that's going to update. So I'm not going to be able to run a whole new set here. So the way I handle that, this is only really for people. Listen, if you use SaberSim or one site, it doesn't. It's probably easier. You just refresh it and then you jam. But with this, if I'm going to use some of my own, the only thing I can do is I'll manually change the Indiana ones just to the SaberSim projections. That's the best I'm going to do. So I'm not doing anything with this build yet until this is done. Now again, I could like pretend that I know what Ethan Thompson's going to project in 10 minutes, which is possible. I mean, what's he going to project? 20?
19 or 20 probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 18 or 19, I don't know, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and then what ownership projection do we give him? 35?
Maybe a little higher because it's a small.
Maybe a little higher.
Yeah.
So I could do that, and then that's gonna then mean I'm gonna do like a five minutes to build my lineups with that assumption, and then whenever the actual numbers come in, I'm gonna have to redo it anyway. So for me, it's just not useful. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait till 6:45. We have 15 minutes to go, and I'm going to just take the Indiana projection and just going to change it manually, and I'm going to fly. I'm also not going to use the I'm
not sure where he's going to project, to be honest with you. Like, I'm actually curious about this one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I have no idea. So we'll just wait on it.
They did update a little bit.
They did.
Still not very good. I don't trust the number. I would make sure it's at least like 15.5 or 16.
What do they have here?
They have them at 14.5. Oh, wait, hold on. It's just updated.
I didn't update this one yet here.
No, there he is. Now they got him at 17.7. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
That sounds about right.
But don't run your builds now, because if you do, you're going to end up with 100% of them because the ownership showing him at 2%, which means you're going to get 100% of them until they update the ownership number.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Let me just check a couple of other sites, see if they've updated him at all. Who am I looking at? What's his name? Ethan, right? Ethan. Yeah, another place has him at 19.
Yeah, I think you could say 17.5 is pretty conservative.
I would say I think that given the absence of value, I think you make him. 19 is that's going to give you a bunch, like you said.
Yeah, and it's a good game too. By the way, I think they still might be updating it, so I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm not putting it in yet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the FanDuel projections in with the exception of that game. And then I'll be ready when I decide what I want to do with that one.
Yeah, and I'll go through a couple of the plays that I'm using the most. I really like Westbrook tonight in this kind of matchup. Now, I think you should be playing at least one of Westbrook or Malik Monk or Zach LaVine. You could probably throw DeMar into that conversation, but this is like an A+ type of matchup for them with the speed and everything of the game. So I really like the upside. Monk is going to be a wide range of outcomes guy, but like you might just absolutely need him. And I definitely think you want to try to get to one of he or Westbrook or LaVine. I think one of those guys has to, and I think you want to play Mathurin or Siakam on the other side. I think this is a really good matchup both ways. And I think all of my lineups will basically have one of Mathurin or Siakam. All will basically have one of Westbrook, LaVine, or Monk at least.
Yeah, so Ethan Thompson is updating.
I got him at 19.
I'm doing FanDuel first here.
Oh.
Have this up. Yeah, they have him on FanDuel 18.48. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change. Just, you know what I would love to be able to do? I'm talking to Jordan about other stuff tomorrow. I want to see if Saberson will let me reset the projections, like just for a team.
Mm.
You know, instead of, you could do it for a player.
I just do it individually, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it for a player, and you could do it for for the whole slate, but you can't do it for a team, which is interesting. Yeah, so like right now they have him at like 1% owned over there. So we want to make sure we wait on actually running sims or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I could run the builds because I didn't without running the sims yet. So hold on. So let's maybe do that. So everything else the same. Let's leave the ownership the same for now, and let's rebuild FanDuel. And then you could. Okay, so now talk to me about some of the other plays you were saying.
Yeah, so I like the first. I also really like this Maxim Renaud.
Even with Cornette in.
He's not on the same team.
Oh, I thought they were both in Sacramento.
No, Cornette's on the Spurs.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I like this Renaud. I mean, all we know is that he's produced when they gave him the same opportunity, he's played 25 and 32 minutes, and he put up 41 fantasy points and 31 in his last 2 games. And then before that, he had 22 and 26. I think he's an interesting play that I don't think is getting quite as much ownership as he should. So I will be overweight on him as well.
Now, again, because we're still waiting on Dylan Brooks, is there any like marginal play from the? So you would prefer to not play this first game, but the.
Well, I know I like this first game the best.
Oh, you like Westbrook, right? Okay.
I like Westbrook and I like what's his name on the other side of Matherin. Although Matherin and Malik Monk feel like they're probably going to be on the winning lineup tonight, or they're going to literally just fry your lineups. They go one way or the other. They don't have a middle ground. You know what I mean? They go nuts or they don't. Yeah. So I mean, Matherin finally did it for me the other night, which was nice. After a bunch of
I saw that he finally got it for you.
Yeah, he did. That was nice. All right, let me see. I think I'm ready to rebuild. They've got Thompson at 23% ownership. I get it because it's not like an absurd projection that these guys 3,500 and he's 19 projection. I think he's probably going to end up in maybe a little higher than. I think that in the bigger buy-ins he'll be probably closer to 30% ownership. And I'm just sort of going to see what it does when I build here.
Now here's another thing. Sometimes if people watch when I go on like earlier in the day and they see me build lineups and go through this whole process, and people sometimes ask, why are you bothering if your real lineups are not going to look anything like it? Well, part of it is just getting reps and literally clicking the buttons because, when you, especially when you're playing the NBA, you really, this is kind of weird to say, right? But you need to know how quickly you can build your lineups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so you need to like plan this stuff out. So if like whenever news is coming out, you're just literally thinking, okay, do I have the X amount of time needed to build? And if I don't, then you have to commit a little earlier.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do it. So at least within a couple of minutes, deviation, like how long it's going to take. And for example, if I had to run a whole new set of projections and build lineups, it would take a good 18 minutes.
Right.
That's why I don't have time to redo everything.
Right.
But I could certainly do a whole build for a site and double check it in probably 5 minutes.
Right.
As long as everything's set up right. So I can wait with comfort until 6:50.
Mm-hmm.
That accounts for, shit happening,
Yeah.
So to me, there's no reason to not wait. So we will.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
We got to hit templates here and then one group per contest to. Make sure this is all set up. Okay. It's already like building and simming and all this stuff, but I'm just gonna redo it. You know what I mean? Once
That's what I always do.
once the news comes out. Okay.
Um,
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna test him, but not yet.
and you're gonna have to make some decisions in basketball. Not on this slate probably, but like there were some slates that we played recently where literally like nothing came close to updating in time. Like it wasn't even close. You know, guys were projecting who were starting with like 4 fantasy points. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of try and wing it on those slates and figure it out. I try to do my best and update the Discord with what I'm doing with things, but it's tough. And even that, it's hard to even find the time to type sometimes because you really are working on a time crunch.
If he turns up pretty popular, Ethan Thompson, for some reason, would you consider like kind of a weird like pivot to TJ McConnell?
I don't think there's anything that weird about that.
Okay.
I'm getting a good amount of McConnell anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're different positions too, so I don't feel like it's going to affect it that much, but yeah, I'm currently getting like a bunch of I have the Westbrook at 70%. I've got 50% of the Maxine Renault, however you want to say it. I've got 56% Matherin, and then I've got 30% of Naz Reid, 30% of Dylan Brooks. We'll see if he plays. I did put a minimum number on Jordan Goodwin because I think there's a chance that he could get there anyway. And also, I just want to see what happens. It's the only piece of news we have. May as well be ready for it.
Yes.
So I'm going to see about my hand build right now and see what I like.
So
Honestly, really like to spend up on.
So for me, I think it's gonna. So it's 6:47 right now. So for me, it's in 3 minutes, I'm gonna click go on the Sims.
Nice.
That accounts for, temporary computer glitches, temporary whatever. And again, so everybody knows process, right? So I have my own projections up here, my own ownership, except for the Pacers, because I just don't have time to run a whole new thing with new Pacers. Now, technically, the other ownership should also be updated if you're going to get more ownership out of like Ethan, whatever. It's technically someone else from some game has to bet a little less.
Yeah.
But you can't be perfect. The other thing is with and remember when you're using ownerships here, for my purposes, it's important to create the first like big bucket of lineups with ownership. But then, like when you really figure out what you're going to put in, you're relying on the actual contest sim field. So it doesn't really matter too much, really, what ownerships you put in, except to get the first bunch of lineups. And as long as you trust SaberSim to make the adjustments to the contest fields, which I do, then I should be okay. Almost regardless of what ownerships I put in.
Yeah, I hear you. Thompson, we'll do that. Yeah, I'm getting almost everybody from this first game, unfortunately.
Fine, quick and painless.
Yeah, it's I'll be at the top of the leaderboard for some time.
What are you going to do? What are you 4 Pacers with Westbrook? Let's go.
Yeah, I've got 3 Pacers and three Sacramentos.
Do you have DeRozan and Westbrook together?
No, I have Monk, Westbrook, and Renault.
Okay.
The center, and then I've got Siakam, Matherin, and Thompson.
You think any Julius Randle?
Julius Randle, I like the idea. Yeah, I'm getting into it in the lottery. I do think that there's something here with this Jordan. That's what's going to bother me though. What could I do? Could I play Jordan Goodwin? I mean, I think the right answer is probably just Gillespie. But who do we have at 8,400? Anybody? Nobody.
Now the other thing you want to look at.
It's a weird slate.
Okay, hold on. We have some inactives for the Eagles. A.J. Dillon, Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Mac McWilliams, Sam Howell, Joshua Leachy. So that's okay. Chargers, Tyler Conklin, Keandre Lambert-Smith. These are only like skill players. And Le'Veon Campbell. I mean, I mention this because again, and I'll talk about this once we get to football, is that when you're playing Showdown, it's one of the more important decisions you make is really who you use in your pool at all. You know, if you're going to use SaberSim, because if you use SaberSim, you're going to get, you're live to get everybody that's in your pool. You know,
Yeah.
At least a couple lineups. So it's just like, again, just to prepare. You know what I mean? Just to prepare, because the first thing I'm going to do after, it's 6:50, so let's do this first. So run contest sims. Because after we do this, and then after I do hockey, the first thing I do when I build the lineups in football is I want to make sure that I don't have anybody that's not in.
Right.
And make that decision of whether I want to have guys with the 0.2%, with a 0.2 projection, with no targets for the season. You know what I mean?
Dylan Brooks is in, by the way.
Dylan Brooks is in. Okay.
And Herb Jones is in. So we're good.
Well, look at this.
What we know. I mean, it's a miracle. All right. So I don't need to get all as creative as I was trying to get. I was trying to do some weird things.
So for those of you seeing this for the first time, okay, for whatever, this 83% means that 83% done with the contest sims. And now what it's doing here is it's diversifying the portfolio in a quote unquote intelligent way. Mm-hmm. They don't say exactly what they're doing or how they're doing it, but allegedly this is doing good things for your lineup. So if you care, if anybody cares, this is what the exposure looks like here. Colin Gillespie right now is the top projected guy. And I didn't see an overwhelming amount of the Ethan Hawke or whoever that guy was, Ethan Thompson.
Yeah. I ended up with. Let me see how much I ended up with of them.
No, actually 30%. That's it's less than I could have been.
I have 23. Yeah, so similar. I think 30 is about where the field is on the lot in the lottery. I think he'll probably be a little bit higher in the bigger buy-ins. It's usually the way it rolls.
Okay, then we go to FanDuel, and right now, what's happening right now. Here's some of that variance that was talked about. It was I got a little bit of a delay. See, it says last sim 643. I just don't believe it, so I'm just going to sim this again.
Yeah.
What happened was when I toggled back to this tab, it looked like it was already running something, and I don't remember clicking anything.
Oh.
So we're just going to have to do it again.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at the ownership and stuff. And let's see.
The other thing I'm doing now, just, checking the Discord for hockey. Any goalie changes or anything like that? No.
Well, this is interesting. Now I've been in a little bit of a Dylan Brooks situation. I've got to figure something out here. Would I rather play Dylan Brooks or Naz Reid? Well, I mean, I guess it's a little different. Never mind. Gillespie, yeah. I think Gillespie is the right thing to do.
And you're talking about for the big buy-in, right?
Yeah. I was just sort of trying to think it through. But yeah, I've got 6 guys from the first game in my big buy-in. So, and it hopefully it stays close, I guess.
So this is good. Save this to FanDuel. Take a look at the exposures here. I'm getting a ton. Why is it again? For some reason, I always get Grayson Allen on FanDuel.
Because he's cheaper over there because he doesn't play his skill set is making threes and then he does turn the ball over. So his numbers are worse on FanDuel than they are on DraftKings. But people see the price and they sort of, I don't know. It's always been that way though. There's certain guys who are just always FanDuel doesn't.
Yeah. So that's the big difference is people can see is that I'm getting a bunch of him. As you see, everybody, I have no rules. I have no, I don't care whether I have 4 Pacers in the same lineup or I don't care whether I'm playing, I don't even know what team he's on anymore. If Naz Reid were playing, is Rudy Gobert still on Minnesota or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't care if I play, Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert together, for example. 3-game slate, it's all OEM free. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. Dylan Brooks is in. All my news is in. Looks as though should be good to go, but we may as well check.
Justin Herbert is officially in, which is nice.
And the other thing, Dylan Brooks' Achilles available to play. Oh my God! And another freaking Achilles yesterday with Daniel Jones.
I know, and the other leg too that he had the broken fibula.
When I saw him limping, I'm like, oh no, the fibula. I'm like, oh no, that's the other leg.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, I think he might be done for a long time.
Hey, I have another comment. I have two comments. One a little, I would say controversial, but like maybe it's not controversial. So I have a comment about the a kind of a weird comment about that Pete Carroll field goal.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not interested in any of the hate at all.
I'm with you.
But for me, it's like even different. Like, yeah, okay, it actually gives them a 0.000001% chance to win instead of zero. So you could argue that that was a good football play anyway.
Well, they had no chance to win, actually.
No, well, but no, it was 0.001. Like if they take the field goal with 1 second to go,
and then they recover it.
So yes, and it's also good practice for those in the future.
Yeah.
But for me, I have a little more jaded view. I'm like, if the NFL is going to really embrace gambling, like if like they asked Pete Carroll at the end of the game, why did you kick the field goal? And if he said, well, we had no chance to win anyway, why not cover? You know what I mean? I can't argue with that.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like they root for your team. I want to make my fans happy. Most of the people root for your team. I'd rather cover than not.
Yeah, I agree. I have no issue with the Raiders. I do have an issue with the completely made up call.
Oh, well, that's for sure.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, you mean the delay of game?
Delay of game, yeah.
I think I don't know.
No, he was just running. He didn't have anything to do with him. I don't think he even made contact.
I think he laid on him. I think you should watch that again.
No, I watched it. I mean, this is. I have not seen a delay of game called in that situation like that quite, and they weren't going to be able to get on the ball.
So the other thing is that the other take I have, not a good take. So I have a take on this Chiefs game, the Houston.
I didn't watch the entire thing. Talk about it though,
dude. Let me tell you something. Like C.J. Stroud, he was getting some heat last year. You know what I mean? Like the passing game and all this stuff, and he was hurt and whatever. In the second half, like the Chiefs brought so much heat. Okay, it was like it was insane. Like how much they were getting to the quarterback, and C.J. Stroud had no time to throw the ball. He showed such freaking composure. He made some freaking plays. And yes, he made some good throws, but he made some good throwaways. It was people are, really getting on the idea that okay, the Chiefs are done. This is the end of the Chiefs. But let's not lose sight of the fact this is like a signature win for C.J. Stroud. That I thought he was. And listen, the stats aren't going to show it. Whatever, he didn't have a great game. But I'm telling you, I saw listen, Houston, as great as their defense was, Kansas City was bringing it to him. And I thought he was gonna throw a pick six at one point or take a bad sack. But he was great. I thought he was terrific.
Yeah. That's what I've heard mostly, and that's what the numbers won't show, and all of that's what they're saying. They have such a terrible offensive line; it's amazing they can do anything. To be honest with you. There was some bad looks for the NFL. I didn't have it, but I don't understand the people coming after Pete Carroll for it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if you're down by 50. Play the game out then. Get the guys the reps. Bring in somebody else and let them play, whatever. But you should be playing up to the whistle. I totally think you should. You only get 17 chances a year. Like, what are you talking about here? I totally agree.
And I also believe that if the game is out of reach one way or the other, I think you should try to cover.
You should try to what?
I think you should try to cover the spread.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to be serious about getting into bed with DraftKings and the NFL or whatever, and with all the talk about people dumping and stuff like that, if you're trying to cover every game, you're a freaking hero.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, do you want to jump into some stuff for the game tonight?
In a minute. So yeah, you can start talking about that. I'm going to build my hockey lineup still.
Do your thing, because I'm still trying to figure out. I like the Eagles. I think this is the biggest clash you'll see between the worst line in football and the best line, and the Eagles have them on both ends. Their D line knows is what I'm talking about, and the Raiders and the Chargers offensive line is literally like a joke. Just look at the players when they introduce themselves tonight and see where they're ranked amongst their position. You'll see 100 out of 100 or 99 out of 100. You know what I mean? They're at the bottom. And the Eagles will be 1 out of 100, 2 out of 100. You know what I mean? The Eagles are just I like the Eagles a lot in this game. I also think that it would be a smart idea to try to play the passing game from the Chargers and the pass and I think that the Eagles are going to be able to throw the ball a little bit on the Chargers. I also I love the over tonight. By the way, I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than people think.
That's interesting.
I also really like the Eagles' defense. I think that I just have a hard time. I think they can get 5 sacks. You get 1 pick or whatever. That you're going to have at least some points. I don't know how much I'm going to end up with them, but I think their defense is at least has the upside to get there. How about my Seahawks defense is scoring again yesterday, Sheets? They just look like it's nobody's business.
They just print.
They do. They always score the defensive touchdown.
They just print. And you know what? What would have been nice? It would have been nice if that Rams offense from yesterday showed up against the freaking Panthers. That would have been really, really nice.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it wouldn't have mattered. I would have lost this week anyway. So
yeah, the Rams. That was I think just an aberration. That was a strange game. Starting with the tip ball that they picked them off in the end zone. I mean, the Rams moved the ball in that game. Like against Carolina, they just kept turning the ball over. Which is not totally in their thing. Oh, I've got to do.
So just so you guys know what I'm doing here, I'm already running the Saber Sim build here because I already have my projections all. But just so you guys know, like what they would look like. Here is my stack rankings for hockey. I know some people kind of look at this. So like I usually look at the right column here, and it's Vancouver and Detroit look to be like my highest ranked, and it looks as though those are going to be the highest owned too. So if you wanted to pivot, Tampa would be the team to do that. And then if you wanted like value, you'd go to Calgary. Like so, it would be like, and their ownership's not that bad. So either Calgary, actually, it's pretty chalky too. So maybe Buffalo, maybe. So it looks as though Tampa would be like the hand-built kind of team that you'd want to play. But let me see what I'm getting. So this is an interesting slate because for hockey, because I'm playing a ton of lineups because they have that poke check, that like $5 tournament that I'm maxing out. So I'm playing a whole bunch of lineups here. So let's run the contest sims. And again, same thing as I always do, guys. And I'm gonna give it to Adam Perry, man. He's converted me into someone who pre-selects what type of stacks they want. As opposed to what I used to do is I used to build like 5,000 or however many lineups without any restrictions, and then pare it down later. I went kind of the opposite way. If I'm going to pare it down later anyway, why don't I just build with those in the first place? So that's what I've been doing. And you know what? Hashtag whatever works. There's just nobody that's been hotter in NHL hockey except for Eric Tate. That is the truth. As much as I cannot cash an NBA ticket, like NHL has been whatever I've been doing has been working. So
absolutely,
we are going to do that, and we're going to save this. And I'll tell you, the process that I use in hockey is so freaking streamlined and idiot-proof. Like for me, at least, that it's just wonderful. You know, I have my projections. I make a couple of little tweaks, and then once the projections are made, up they go. You know, make my stack recommendations. And then just fly, okay? And just so you guys know what I have today, hey, there it is, the aforementioned Calgary. There it is, Calgary, and then Detroit, and then Vancouver. And listen, it's always nice to see that you have like some balance. You know, I know you're not supposed to look, you're not supposed to care, but I have to say, if I had 97% of a hockey stack, I would probably keep it, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do that. You may as well transition into this. So let's do football. Okay, so you like Philly. Now the first couple of lineups I looked at, like you could really benefit from playing something cheap in the captain to get these other guys in. Are you seeing that or not really?
So I'm still just working on FanDuel. I'll jump over to DraftKings in just a second. I'm just
well, I can start with FanDuel.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more of the Chargers in my captains. Justin Herbert is my highest owned captain because I think he's going to be low owned at captain. In my biggest buy-in on FanDuel, I think Saquon Barkley will probably be the captain for me. I love Quentin Johnston mostly because he always projects poorly and yet he still outproduces these other guys. So that's one that I'm high on. I like Devontae Smith, who's projecting worse than AJ Brown. The Chargers have a good pass defense, though, in general. So I think you'd rather play the running-ish parts of the game. I know I said earlier you can throw the ball a little bit. I don't think you really want to try and get too caught up.
The Chargers have what you said?
The Chargers have a good pass defense. They're like the number one team, number one or two, along with Atlanta, basically.
Yeah. But which of the Philly receivers do you like the most? You like Brown or Smith or both?
I like Smith more than because he's lower owned.
Okay.
I would rather try not to play them that much. I guess that's my take.
Okay. The other thing. Okay. So here's the other thing I have to.
I like Trey Harris as an off the board play for what it's worth.
Trey Harris from LAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll make sure to keep him in the pool then.
Yeah.
Now Tyler Conklin, I had him in the pool before and he's out. So that's one change I can make here. So
yeah.
Something. That's good. Let me just see one thing. Okay. Let me run FanDuel. And here's a thing that's just really annoying. I don't know why this is the case, but I think they make up for it. I'm going to talk to Jordan about this. But when you look at your SaberSim here, you see that even in the captain ownership, it lists like insane numbers. It's listing the total ownership.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just listing the captain ownership here; it's listing the total ownership.
Yeah, that's what always. Yeah.
So that's an error. I mean, I can only hope that the Sims kind of like make up for that.
Yeah. They seem to. It's been that way forever.
Well, it's not like that on DraftKings. So
no, but it's on FanDuel. It's been that way since the history. It's never been any different.
What is this over here? Oh, I don't want this. Hold on a minute. Let's do. Hold on. So I made a mistake in my projection, so I have to fix something. And so, okay, so your highest owned captain on FanDuel is going to be Herbert?
It's Herbert, but in my biggest buy-in, it's Saquon. And I think I'm gonna just because SaberSim just has like a lower projection on Herbert still. Maybe they'll update it, I guess. But that's sort of what I'm looking at right now. On DraftKings, my highest owned captain, I kind of want to. Well, I want to make sure I have like double the field on Quentin Johnston because we've seen this work before, and I don't want to avoid it. He's just going to be lower owned than the other pass catchers.
I'm interested in this this over, by the way.
Yeah, the over. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Meanwhile, how good? Okay, so for those of you that didn't hear, I made a bet last week on the Celtics, both to win the conference championship and to make the playoffs. Dude, I bet them to make the playoffs. They were minus 130. They won 2 games last week. I'm already getting offers for like 2/3 of the win on a cash out. It's like crazy. It's like they're like, okay, you win, Eric. You know what I mean? Like it's
and look, I mean, they're going to be competitive in a weak East no matter what. But if they get Tatum back, they might be the favorites like soon.
And they might trade what's his name? Not Hardaway. What's his name? The guard Simons maybe.
Yeah, there's rumor. Yeah, that's like a piece they can use if they want to. But I mean, he's a valuable piece for a lot of teams. I think that I like him.
All right, so let's build FanDuel, and again, I'm gonna just use the on FanDuel. I'm just gonna use the SaberSim contest fields and just kind of let it fly. DraftKings, I get a little bit weirder, and if you're around for that, I mean, like, it's probably stopped me from doing it. I sometimes use what's his name, McCool's portfolio manager to help me. I was in first. Yes, last night I needed just Kareem Hunt to have not gotten those that last reception that he got, that would have been for like 30,000. Yeah,
man, that's too bad.
Well, it also was a cheat slate. It was like 80 points went one or something like that.
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing about tonight's football slate, by the way, yeah, that's annoying. Is what to do with this running back situation for the Chargers. We're just sort of assuming, okay, they drafted Hampton, it's the guy, but Vidal just had one of the better games of the season. I don't know. I could see myself telling myself a story that maybe Vidal is an interesting sneaky play.
So just so you guys know, and I'm going to look at the sec. So on DraftKings, I took out Tyler Conklin, and all these other guys are being left in the pool. So like Cameron Latu, I mean, you know what I mean? Like Darius Cooper, all these guys are being left in the pool. So if Darius Davis decides that they're going to run a trick play for him or whatever somehow, I'm going to have it. But the lowest actual player is probably Jahan Dotson, I guess.
Yeah.
These guys are really low owned though. Trey Harris, I have it 4%.
Yeah. I think he's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of mouths to feed over there, but he does have some talent, and he's not getting played. I mean, I don't think you need to captain him. You can just play him in the flex. No one's playing him.
Yeah.
Bump up I bumped his projection up half a point just because I'd like to take some. You get one shot from him, and that's it. You're good.
So this is going to be my whatchamacallit. I just want to just double check and make sure that this all adds. Yep. So the flex ownership adds to 500. The regular ownership, the captain adds to 100. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, FanDuel's taking freaking forever. So while that's happening, I'm going to actually see any more news here. Well, no more news in the NBA. Oh, we're going to check. You want to check? We check the ownerships, right? Let's check.
Naperson really hates Quentin Johnston, for what it's worth. They hate Quentin Johnston. They never have him projected well.
Let's see what some of these ownerships are. So Ray now was 40%. Westbrook was 30. Huff was 25. DeRozan was 27. Thompson was 47. Nembhard was 44. This is in the alley-oop.
Yeah.
Siakam 53. Okay. Yeah, you don't get too many breaks in the NBA.
No. Eagles.
Showdown. Import projections. We're going to import this one.
All right, let's see this.
Just make sure I don't have any Tyler Conklin here. I don't think so. No, I still have his projection. Why do I still have his projection? Hold on a minute. Tyler Conklin 0. So let's save this. Oh, okay, that's the difference. Okay. Import player data.
Nobody's going to play Kamani Vidal. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's not the craziest thing in the world that we've seen a running back I'm just throwing it out there.
Who?
Kamani Vidal, because the Hampton's back, but Vidal's coming off of a monster game, and he looks good.
I have him at 16% projected ownership.
Really? Saberson's got him at 7.
Okay. I have him 16 in regular and 1% in the captain. Or 0.89 in the captain. The FanDuel is really
Just make sure I'm getting some of them. I don't want to Don't want to have an idea and then not back it up. But I really like the Eagles tonight. I think this is a game that they're going to win, and I think they're going to win it by more than a field goal. And I really like that over.
Why am I getting? Oh, Dicker is getting. Jake Elliott. Hang on. Let's see something. Jake.
Yeah, I think both kickers are pretty solid plays too. I prefer Dicker always, but
I'm gonna. Something is wrong with my FanDuel projections, so I'm gonna go with just the Saberson ones. I'm just getting a big freaking projection on Jake Elliott for some reason, so we're not going to do that. It's something to do with.
I'm going to update my DraftKings in a minute.
Okay. So what I'm doing, just so you know, I'm building 450 lineups.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those into the portfolio manager and show you guys what I do with that. I'm using a different sim. Then I'm going to build 2 using SaberSim. And I'm going to combine them both into the portfolio manager. I've gotten some pretty good luck with that recently, so we'll see how that goes. But again, like the only guy that I'm keeping out of my pool is going to be the only guy that's inactive is Tyler Conklin.
Yeah.
So I probably don't want to see what this does to my lineups. I don't want to get 47% of Britton Covey or something like that. But just see.
God, it's going so slow. I might have to get out of here just because this late swap is not allowing me to.
Go ahead.
For the NBA because it just froze. All right, man. Well, good luck tonight. Congrats. I saw you won another golf thing.
Yes, I won another seat to the King of the Desert.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's worth like $15,000.
Love it.
I got 2 seats of that.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's in January.
And where is it?
No. It's just 3.
Oh, you don't do it.
3. There's 2 cut downs.
Okay.
There's online, and then I think there's 150 goes to 30, goes to 15 or something like that.
Gotcha. That's right.
Yeah. So so you can
cool.
You can fly if you want.
All right, man.
Yeah. So what I'm going to start doing again, guys, is I'm going to build. I'll show you the first set of 150 I built, and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. So this is build 2. Let's make sure that. Start over. We're gonna upload these and make sure there's no Tyler Conklin. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create custom fields for my own ownerships. Okay. So what I'm going to do is give myself the option to create my own contest fields. Actually, it's going to create my own contest field. It's just going to give me the option to use it, which I'm going to do for 150 of the lineups. 150, I'm going to use the SaberSim contest fields. 150, I'm going to use from my contest fields. And the other 150, we're going to use from this other place that I'm doing it for. All right, so let's first, okay. So the first one we'll do field lineup sheets. Hold on. I don't need to see them. And then for the Wildcat, we are going to do high stakes MME. So we're going to use, first one, we're going to use the custom fields. And then we're going to build 150. And what we are, first we're going to do templates, one group per contest. It's good. And build lineups like that. So what this is going to do is it's going to go into portfolio diversification mode, but then we are going to ignore it. Okay. This is what I've been doing with Saber Sim Showdowns recently. We're going to ignore the portfolio diversification mode because we're going to do is we're going to do 3 separate builds. We're just going to take the top ROI lineups from 3 separate builds and then wash them through the portfolio manager, and we'll see what we can derive. We have time. It's 8:20. Got plenty of time. So this is rolling, and I have my other 150 build. I'm using Ace Mind actually to build the other 150 because it does do a good job when you put your own lineups in there. And I'm going to go min uniques 1. I'm not going to do anything, weird. So we'll export those 150 entries. And this one, we are going to call 150 Ace. Okay, 150 Ace. Okay. And then what we can do while this is building actually is we could go into the let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's go into the portfolio manager. And we'll start washing these things. Okay. So let's go in. This is through PayDirt. And again, I'm still very much of a beginner with the many things that this can do, but getting better. So first thing we have to do is we have to upload the data here, and we will use the user uploads. I do have my own file, and all this is doing is putting basically the salary file in here so that PayDirt knows how to read the lineups. And then we're going to put my projections in here. I keep that over here. Oh, there's one thing I got to change. I have to change the Tyler Conklin, or do I have to? Maybe I don't even have to, because I'm not getting any lineups with them anyway. And then what we're going to do, we're going to upload using this format because that's that format I have. And then we'll put in 150 Ace. And then we're going to do is we're going to click Manage Portfolio. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out like lineups that are just too heavily duped. Now, again, we still have this issue with the salary. For some reason, it's not really identifying the salary right, but that's okay. We're going to download this like this. Actually, let me double check and make sure that my projections, no, that looks good. I don't know why these salaries are off. I don't know. But okay, so we will download this portfolio. And I don't know what to do with these zeros. This is my issue. Is a 0 or whatever? It's not really reading these lineups too well. So we're gonna have to ask him how to deal with that. But I think that we could do. Let's cheat a little bit. Let's go back to here and let's load this from the actually from the Paydate database. How about that? Maybe that changes it. And now again, we will then put my projections in. And then put these in here. And this should be right. So let's see if we still don't have that same issue. Yeah, so we're still having these issues with some of these salaries. I don't know why that is the case. Now, this is taking an awful long time, by the way, to build these lineups. Just to test this, let's load this from the paydirt. Let's do all from the paydirt database. This way, I want to rule out my files as being the reason why. Yeah, so that is the issue, is my file in some way. So something wrong with my file here. So we're going to use their data to analyze the dupes. So let's do this. So let's download the portfolio. And what do we want to reduce? Let's now I imagine these are not really going to be 0% duped, but let's at least, knock out what is brutal. Like, I'm not playing any of this stuff. If it's projecting, 20 dupes, I don't want it, right? So let's take these out. Anything over 20 dupes, I'm not going to want under any circumstances. So these are done. And then what we're going to do is we are going to just save the rest of these. Okay, so let's we're going to come back to this in a second. So let's keep this over here. But we're going to call this ACE candidates. But we're going to add to this in a minute. ACE candidates. Okay. Or actually, we're going to call it 12-8 candidates. 12, because that's today's date, right? We're going to get back to it in a second. Oh, who cares? We spell it right. Let's see if SaberSim is now. Okay, so here it is. It's building the lineups. And we ran the sim. And instead of, well, you know what? We're going to save these for now, but only so we have the wildcat done. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go into here. We're going to download these lineups. And we're going to take just the top 150 by ROI. And that should be right around here, right? AD usually for this contest. Yeah, it's already listed by ROI. Great. So let's take these top 150. First, let's clean this up a little bit. And then we will cut off everything except the top 150. Got time? Plenty of time. And we'll call this, because this is my own, these are my own fields, so we'll call this custom 150. But we'll call it SaberSim. And this is just for me, because my memory is not as strong as some of yours probably. So let's clear the data. And let's put these in there. So let's load this from the database. Actually, clear data, data load this from the database. And let's, we could load, let's see if we could, again, get away with loading it from my projection file. Hold on. Actually, we can use theirs, it's fine. So let's, no, not from load from database, that's not what I want. Shoot, clear data. We're gonna load this from the database, load this from the database, but here, the source here, we're going to just SaberSim. And this is going to be custom 150. And then we're going to manage portfolio. And then download portfolio. And we'll do the same thing as before. We will just take out like some of these high dupe lineups. So anything over, again, what do we say, over 20? We will just get rid of. So boom, delete, and then clean it up a little bit, delete, and then this we can call, well, you know, all we can do, we can add this to the other file, right? So here, 113, and what was that file called? We called that 128 candidates, right? So let's just add those to here. And that was also, okay, so we don't even need any of this information here. Okay, so we're still on 128 candidates. So now we have to do one more thing. We have to also build another one, but with the SaberSim fields. So instead of using the Sheets field, we're going to use flagship MME field. And we'll go back to this build. And then we will resim. Oh, it's already doing it. Okay. And again, we're not going to, it's doing portfolio diversification. We're not going to care about that. We're actually just going to manually download this file. Okay. So we're going to download this file. And we are going to just, again, take the top 150 lineups rated by ROI. I think we did it. Let's see. Hold on. Yep. So obviously look like very, very strong ROIs. And we're just going to take the top 150. So first, let's get rid of this. We'll take top 150. And all this is to get like some candidate lineups to have the portfolio manager do some more work with. So let's, oops. So let's go to 150. The rest we'll get rid of. Shift. And then this one we're going to call, this is the stock Sims, right? So we're going to call it stock 150 SaberSim. Okay. So back to the portfolio manager. Clear data, and then data load from database, and then we will SaberSim and stock 150, and then manage portfolio. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to download the portfolio. And we will get rid of everything that is projecting for less than, what did we say, 20 dupes? Boom. Get rid of this. And then we will add this pile to this candidates pile. And this is going to be our pool. Okay. So now we have 364 lineups that we've already like curated. You know what I mean? Like we have good projections to build the lineups, and we rated them by ROI. And now we're putting them through a little bit of extra dupe medication and cutting out what the portfolio manager formulas feel is going to be too highly duped. Okay. And now we're going to do is one more little thing that I'm starting to embrace myself to, and that is doing some kind of smart diversification. So instead of using the SaberSim method, what we're going to do is we are going to use Pater. So Pater, same thing. Let's first of all let's he once told me it's always good to clear the data first before starting again. So this actually looks good. Projection, load from database, and now we are going to use this one because we saved it in this format. 128 candidates. And now we are going to manage this portfolio, which is our fully curated portfolio. And then we are going to download the portfolio. And what we're going to be looking for is this diversity score. So what we're going to do is from this group, you're going to just pick the top 150 by diversity score. And those are the ones we're going to put in. So boom. Well, that's only the 150. Hold on a minute. Why did only 150? Oh, because I put in stock 150. Wait a minute. Portfolio CSV. Oh, that's so funny. I put in the wrong thing. 1 second. 128 candidates. So 364. Why did it not come up that many? Hold on. Let's do this again. Let's reset portfolio. Data load. Why is it stuck on this? I want to actually start this all over. It still has the same stuff here. Okay. As I said, I'm not an expert at this yet, but now it's made it much easier. Oh, it's on classic, so I got to change that. Move from database. And then here we will go here, and we got to make sure I put the right thing. So 128 candidates. So this one. Yeah, it should have more than 150 lineups. So just make sure I did that right. Yeah, 313 lineups. So let's download the portfolio. There you go. Okay, so now we'll go over here, data, filter, and then by diversity score, boom. This is empty. No idea why. Some of these are empty. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Oh, so nobody said this was perfect, I guess. Let's try this one more time. Let's just see if this was empty. Now this was all good. We gotta try one more time here. We're right at the end too. Data load. I don't know why this is still like this. Oh, 740, plenty of time. Are you kidding me? Like nothing. So let's start again. Showdown. Load from Pater database. This one, load for database. This one, DraftKings. 128 candidates. And then manage portfolio. then download portfolio. And that looks better. Okay. I promise you it's human error here. There you go. Very nice. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to take all these, which are technically supposed to have been, you know, the best diversity score of this group, which means this is the most diverse 150 of this 313. And then into DraftKings. And the other thing I actually have to do is want to go back and see why it was getting the error before. Okay, so that's that. And we should be good to go. And again, we're hopefully our dupe counts are supposed to, at least moderately resemble what we expect. Okay, hopefully that got you a little bit of a taste of what I kind of go through when we go through all this stuff.